It's time.
Well, hey guys, and welcome back to XepherGames. I'm Jake, and this week we're doing another character guide. Now, we're not having our guest anymore today, but we might bring him back sometime if you guys like to. It was fun for both of us, so if if that's convenient, we'll try and make that happen again. And for now, it's just me, and we're going to be talking about a character that I'm going to look at the side, but I'm not really going to be looking at him. I'm just going to be turning my head and rotating the entire screen so that it looks like I'm kind of looking at the person. I think I already spoiled it and said him, but anyway, you know who it is already, so let's just get on with it. Let's go now. Or now, actually. Let's go now. Okay, so a little info on Henry and me. I wasn't ever going to use Henry. Ever. I saw the character, I'm like, okay, he's kind of different. I used him for like the one level. Yeah, okay, that's enough of that. And then in the second playthrough, I was considering using him, but then I was like, I still have a lot of other characters I want to use, so it wasn't going to happen. But then I got a request for him by, I can't remember the name right now, but anyway, I got a request for a guide on Henry, so I'm like, okay, I guess I should actually use him a little bit before I tell you what to do with him. So I played him up, I leveled him up a crap ton in the DLC, grind fest. So I leveled him up a bunch, and turns out he's actually pretty good. Not just in his stats and stuff, which we'll get to in just a second, but his skills are really fun. I mean, he gets a lot of funny skills they can use to his advantage. Now, Henry is a dark mage traditionally. He's kind of a creepy guy who loves death and everything, but he has kind of a childish mannerism about him. So he's kind of an odd, like, death is fun, death. He's a very strange character. Uh, so, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy and to learn something from today's guide. Let's talk about the stats now.
Alright, here we're looking at Henry's growth rates. Across the top you'll see great HP, good strength and magic, which makes him pretty well rounded and can fit into many different roles. Skill, excellent, and speed is kind of average. Now, the biggest two things that you'll notice about this character, though, are his luck and his defense. His luck is bad. It's not the worst I've ever seen, but it's pretty bad. It's one of the worst in the game, which of course makes me not really want to use him very much. But at 40%, it's still not unusable. He'll get to max eventually. It'll just take a super long time. But the other thing you should notice is that his defense is really good, which is always a nice plus because it'll make him, able to stand for some hits, even though he won't be dodging as much thanks to his low luck and kind of mediocre speed. Lastly, his resistance is rather low for a dark mage, so you don't want to have him be going around chasing after other mages, but that shouldn't really be a problem too often, since dark mages should really be killing low resistance units like knights anyway. So, his main options are Dark Mage, Sorcerer, Dark Knight, Barbarian, Berserker, Warrior, Thief, Assassin, Trickster. So if you got all that, you're a genius, but you can just look at this chart here and see what all the bonuses they confer individually. Now, I'm just going to say it right now because I don't mention it later in the video that the Thief, Assassin, and Trickster classes are pretty much useless for him. Now, I think pretty much anyone could argue that a Thief Assassin would always be good, but Henry really isn't the right type for this due to his low luck. Now, Trickster, on the other hand, does provide an interesting skill that you could use to great effect if you used it properly, called Acrobat, which reduces the movement penalty of all pieces of land to 1, so it only costs 1 to move all land except for sea spaces and maybe mountains, but never mind, there aren't mountains in this game. So if you get that skill, which is at level 15, and then turn him into a Dark Knight, which is a mounted class, he'll be running around through forests and rivers at full speed. That would be pretty freaking crazy. Plus, then he'd be able to have some magic and He'd be a very well balanced magic and defend and magic and swords character, but that's not really the best build for him, as I'll talk about in a minute. There's a much more fun way to build this character that we're going to get into right now.
Okay, so Henry is well balanced. We got that out of him, okay? So he can do just about anything you want to, which makes his build options kind of more complicated than they would normally be. But I'll try to make it as simple as possible for you. So, as we said earlier, Henry starts as a dark mage, which can become a sorcerer or a dark knight. Now, dark knight is a misleading class name because it doesn't actually use dark magic. Sorcerer does. Sorcerer has two excellent skills: Vengeance and Tonebreaker. Although you could argue that Tonebreaker isn't really excellent, but I think it's pretty good most of the time. But anyway, Vengeance is amazing. It has a chance of activating equal to 2 times your skill attribute. And when it does activate, it deals extra damage to your opponent equal to half the damage you have currently taken. Then that's a lot of funny numbers and stuff. Basically, it means the more damaged you are, the more likely you are to deal a bunch of extra damage to your opponent. And that's actually really, 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 really good. And it can be used with a few other skills for very fun stuff. Now, specifically, Henry. I forgot his name. I forgot his name. How do I forget his name? Anyway, so he also has access to the Barbarian class. Now, Barbarian gives Despoil and Gamble, both mediocre skills. But it also gives him access to Berserker and Warrior. Now, there's a number of things you could do with Warrior, but I'm going to more or less ignore it for now because I don't really think it's necessary for the kind of build I'm going for. We will use Berserker, and Sorcerer, okay? So, the idea behind this build that I'm going to outline for you guys is crits. Crits everywhere, critical hits, boom. It's gonna work. Now, Henry has pretty good skill, as we went over. It's not amazing, but it's good enough, and that complemented by the fact that he has access to so many high crit things is crazy. Okay, so let me give you the gist of it. As soon as you can, he will be like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what level he starts at, but he should be close to level 10. Make sure you get to level 10 because that gives him the skill Anathema, which reduces the dodge and avoid of all enemies within 3 spaces. Now, dodge is actually their critical evasion, so basically anyone he's going to be attacking has a 10% less chance of evading your crit, which ultimately just means you get plus 10 to crit. That's what it means. It's pretty much what it means. It's a great skill, actually. It's plus 10 to crit for against all the enemies within 3 squares, and plus 10 to hit as well, so it's great. Now, Barbarian has a skill called Gamble. Switching hands. Okay. It's called Gamble, which is plus 10 crit, minus 5 hit. Not nearly as good, because like Anathema gives the bonus to all, penalty to all enemies, and it gives you both instead of a penalty to one, but still, it's plus 10 crit, and plus 10 crit is important with this build. So you'll probably want both of those skills. So as soon as you get Anathema, change to Barbarian, grab Anathema. Then make him into a Berserker. Berserker will give him, at level 5, Wrath. At less than half HP, Henry gets plus 20 to his critical hit chance. And so, okay, so now in case you're counting, that's 10 from Anathema, 10 from the Gamble, and 20 when under half HP from Berserker. That's plus 40 crit already, alright? That's just bonuses. Now, we change him back into a Sorcerer, right? You follow me here? You change him back into a Sorcerer and get Vengeance. So, when he's at less than half HP, that means, assuming he has about 60 HP, that means he'll have, say, 30 HP gone. If he activates Vengeance and then crits, that means he'll do an extra 45 damage from the Vengeance bonus. I was having way too much fun with this build. Henry is hilarious. So, not only that, there is an amazing weapon you can give him as a sorcerer. sorcerers have access to dark magic, which I mentioned before. So give him a forged Ruin Tome. Ruin always has plus 50 freaking crit. So that means, in case you're wondering, that's plus 90% chance crit when under at half HP. That's not even factoring in his skill bonus. If he has skill of, say, 40, we're talking about, like, end game stats here. Skill of 40, that would give him a total crit chance of 110. Minus the enemy's, luck, of course, but still, 110. Come on. Also, if you pair him up with a unit, which we'll get into later, he'll get more crit. So it's actually possible, from what I was calculating, with a maxed out skill to get like approximately 130 or 125 crit with this character. It's just stupid. It's just completely over the top, woo, stupid. It's insane. I love it. I love it. Now, honestly, just ignore his other class options. Now, I guess I could go into it, but I'm not going to because this is the best build for him. Not to be, egotistical, but when you can get a crit of 125, why are we even talking about anything else? Now, I suppose I should mention the fact that since he has good strength and magic, he would make a good Dark Knight. So, if you want to make him a Dark Knight, go right ahead. You won't get 120 crit, but he'll be dark. And Batman! Okay, I'm not doing that again, sorry. Anyway, so, but Henry does do well as a Dark Knight, and you can even, if you're really being ambitious, you could get Dark Knight's level 15 skill, Life Taker, and then do all the other stuff I was talking about, because Life Taker will let him regain the HP once he's lost it, but that's really a moot point, since as a sorcerer, he could just use a Nosferatu tome when he gets on low HP to heal himself anyway, because that tome is broken. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. Nosferatu is freaking amazing. If you're stuck on level, just solo it with a Dark Mage using Nosferatu. It's the easiest way to do it. Now, lastly, as for Henry's support options. Now, I wouldn't... There's not much to say here because he has so many options that I don't really feel like I need to go into them too in depth, but basically what you need to know is have him have a support. Definitely get an S support with Henry, because when he's in a lead in a paired unit setup, he will get a bonus to crit, which is what we're looking for. So, it also gives him a bonus to hit as well, which might be rather low depending on whether or not you forged up the accuracy on the Ruin Tome. But anyway, so basically, though, you want him to be in the lead because he'll give him a bonus to hit and crit, which is great. Now, a big bonus is coming your way if you can get the paired up his partner unit to have the dual support ups plus skill, which will add a bunch of more support bonuses onto it, which will effectively give him another plus 5, maybe plus 10 crit. So, anyway. Good options for that. I know Lissa can definitely get it. I'm not sure about other people, but basically anyone who can turn into a Valkyrie will be a good choice for a pairing for Henry. Which of course means my unit is good, but my unit, as I might have mentioned earlier, my unit is an amazing husband/wife for every single character in the game. There's no exception. It's always great. Glasses adjustment complete. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you got something out of this Henry guide, or if you don't use Henry, well, sucks to be you. Sucks to be me too, because I'm not really using him either, but whatever. Anyway, if you have any questions about Henry or comments about the video, leave them below in the comments. Leave a like if you like the video, and subscribe to see more. If you have any other ideas on characters you want to see guides done on, or other things Fire Emblem or gaming related in general, just leave a comment anywhere. You do a video response if you want. That'd be amazing. Anyway, so I think that's about it. Like I said, leave a comment. Always good to hear from you guys. See you later.